Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with something a little bit different for you today. When I started planning out this video, it began as I was going to come up with my top 5 nerd preferred couples campers for the year under 30-foot travel trailers. So under 30 feet, tip to tail, tongue to bumper, no bunks. And the problem is there's just a lot of good ones. And if I were going to get a couples camper today, it would probably be something under 30 foot. So there's a lot of them that I like. And I didn't really know how to break that down. So I thought what I'm going to do here is I want to kind of, if you're trying to figure out, like, where do you even get started? Because there's a bajillion of these things out here. I want to start by, basically, I want to break down floor plan families for you today. Because there's a lot of times if a model's really popular, 3 or 4 or 5, sometimes more, other builders will build it. So what I'm going to do is introduce to you multiple floor plan concepts that I kind of like. And I'm going to list a bunch of examples of those on screen for you. I'm going to leave you tons of links in the video description for pricing and availability, all that on all these things. And I'm going to give you a sample of each of these floor plan families. So what this video might do for you is help you narrow down, like, okay, what style of floor plan in an under 30-foot couples camper speaks loudest to you? And then you can sort through those links in the video description to get 4 or 5 different versions of that and maybe help you cut the learning curve and get right in on the one or get closer to the one that might work best for you right away. So I'm going to chapter mark this video. We're going to see a lot of fast flyby footage today. And if you appreciate, doing things like, if you like this format, leave me click the like button on the video, leave me a note and let me know, say thanks nerd. Subscribe to the videos if you want to see more stuff like this. In the meantime, let's get started. Kicking things off, I want to begin with the no slide couples campers. And certainly, like any of these categories that I list, there's guarantee you there's examples of these that I don't have listed on here. But in this category, I've got 3 I think really good examples: Vibe, J-Flight, and Cherokee. Now the J-Flight and the Cherokee are very, very similar models. The Vibe is a very different critter, but it also qualifies as an under 30-foot tandem axle no slide couples camper. So it kind of felt good to put in there. But here's a look at one of these just to see how it kind of fits for you. These are really great if you just prefer simple, easy, and if the idea of slide outs kind of scares you. You asked for it, I'm getting it for you today. Maybe one of the best no slide couples models I think I might have ever seen. Hello everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and behind us is an RV that literally tricked me. And I mean that in the best way possible. At the time this video rolls out, I've got about 15 years of experience looking at campers. I'm basically a professional looker-atter and talker-abouter of campers. Those are technical terms. That's my actual job description. And when I went through this one, it's like farmers. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, just off pure experience. And I went through, I said, okay, it's a Murphy bed. All right, small camper. Okay, nice bathroom. Okay, nice pantry. And then I went, ooh, you've got this nice little breakfast bar, dining bar, right off the campsite of the RV with a Euro window to get sweet airflow. But at the same time, it actually has a pull-down bug screen, which a lot of the Euro-style windows do not. So I'm like, okay, this is a really good camper. I looked through it a little further. Like I said, really nice pantry space, kind of caught me off guard in a pleasant way. Also, it's a little bit taller inside, so I can stand in the shower. I like how the Murphy sofa has those kick-out recliners. When the bed's down, you have headboard power pockets. You've got wide stance stability axles for easy towing on an RV that's not, I don't even know if it's 24 feet long. It's right on that cusp. It's lightweight, but it has a really good cargo capacity, so you can actually tow small and camp large in this little thing. And that's the thing that threw me off. I walked out of the camper, and it had such a big, spacious feel, it tricked me. The rep was standing right there, and he looked at me and said, "Not too bad for a no-slide camper, huh?" And I stopped dead in my tracks with one foot in the air, getting ready to walk out of the camper. I turned around, and I took a second look at this thing, and I went, oh my gosh. This is a no-slide camper. It felt so big inside that even with my experience, it made me think it had a slide out. It has slide out, comfort, and space in a no-slide, lighter weight, easier to maintain kind of model. There's no road mode. It's just good to go all the time. There's a lot of really, really good things going on with this one. They've standardized a little bit better solar package than they had, heated belly, tank heaters, bigger air conditioner, and a lot of other things. Vibe is a brand that has kind of come out of nowhere that I think might be worth putting on your radar. Now, stepping up from there, we're kind of going from smallest to largest floor plan family grouping in this. But the next one up, I'm going to call the sofa slide couples camper, where it's not a full-on sofa and dinette. It's not a super slide. It's just like a sofa, or potentially, I guess, it could be a dinette in the slide, and then just like a front walk-around bed. Typically, these are going to be rear bathrooms in almost all cases. This is a great, like, very efficient family of floor plans right here. And the good news is, again, tons of builders make stuff like this. It gives you easy, small towing, lightweight, compact size. They're easy to park, but they surprisingly typically have the opportunity for really impressive storage and countertop space, considering no bigger than they are. And frankly, I don't see them ever going out of style. I think that this is also a concept that can make a fantastic solo camper. If you're looking for a small Bish's RV here with the 22 RBS Keystone Cougar, getting you some updated footage. Now, if you look at this, tons of builders build a floor plan like this. So what does Cougar bring to the table that separates them? Like I kind of began with the video, this is a very interesting thing in that it is a very big person friendly small camper. And that's a hard combination of things to try to mash together. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you've got that open feeling barreled ceiling, which just makes the whole thing look and feel nice. Not to mention the headroom that it gives in the shower is really well executed in this model, although that is a radius shower that's potentially an elbow knocker. And I'm going to be fair as I go through this video, kind of pointing out, you know, good with the bad. But it's got a 70 by 80 king bed, which is hard to find in a small RV. They're not the only ones doing it, but it is a more rare quality. But there's also like all their big fifth wheel features that they managed to cram into this, like the 0 to 110 degree weather rating package. I'm going to break down how they achieve that later through the video. They've made the slide floor match the main floor, which I think looks very clean. We've got a tankless on-demand water heater, so if you want to take a couple back-to-back showers, nobody has to decide who gets the warm shower, who gets the cold one. Goodyear tires are standard, ready for TPMS, which is just plug and play. You don't need a tech degree to do something like that. Like, I'm an idiot when it comes to tools, and I've been able to DIY the plug and play system on this just fine. They've also improved their factory standard solar package, and I really think Keystone continues to lead the way with their Solar Flex platform. Basically, it's 220 watts base solar package, but also now has a 30 amp controller. Last year it was only 200 watts with a 15, so it's more robust from the start and more expandable right from the start. Not to mention the storage and the countertop space in this. I don't know if there's another small RV that matches what they're doing in here in that regard. And again, creeping up in size a little bit, going up from just the kind of sofa slide compact camper, I'm gonna go to what I call the mega kitchen compact camper. This is a floor plan design that I think was originally really pioneered by the Grand Design Imagine 17 MKE, and it's very, very good. There's actually a lot of floor plans on this list that kind of were often originated from the Grand Design Imagine line. They have since become absolute staples of the RV industry, and this one's no exception, because it provides something that is small, lightweight, easily towable, but opens up to give you a huge feeling living room. And just the whole campsite of the RV is just one giant mega kitchen bar, typically. Now, with a lot of different builders making something similar, they each have a couple little tweaks, so you find a lot of examples of this family of floor plans down there in that video description. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with some updated footage on the 21 MRK Ember Touring Edition. This is a floor plan I initially debuted last year here on this channel, and for the most part they didn't go messing with something that wasn't broken. However, they made it bigger in the place that it was smallest without actually making the RV any larger. What I'm getting at here, they slid the slide forward a little bit, and what that created was like an extra roughly 6 to 8 inches of space in the bathroom, because this thing was tight like a tiger. It was not fluffy friendly if you were an American-sized dad bod kind of dude or lady. So now you actually have room to get in there and sit down and do your business and, you know, not be elbowed into your ribs or anything like that. But this model, it comes in as one of their smallest, lightest of the touring series, but it has arguably one of the biggest living rooms, barring their opposing Super Slide new models that they just came out with recently here. Up front, you've got a 60 by 80 true queen bed with all the Ember things, where you've got the storage below it. There's the huge drop frame front storage compartment going on below that. They also have, in the slide, a big, like, triple seat theater seat. It has 2 recliners and a middle drop-down armrest, so you have your choice between population control and cuddle compliance, whatever works for you. The ceilings in these are almost 7 foot tall, which means all your overhead cabinetry is just bigger than it otherwise could have or would have been. And, not to mention the fact, it's just got an aircraft carrier-sized countertop space running down the door side of this. There are smaller, lighter versions of things like this from, say, like Imagine, from Surveyor. Rockwood has something like this now. This is definitely one of the biggest, heaviest versions of it, but it also does some things that the other ones don't, like the taller ceiling. You've also got that torsion axle suspension system. Only Rockwood also does that. But you can get this outfitted from the factory with 400 watts of solar and a 2,000 watt inverter, which is great for travel stops. But it also allows you to leave that bed down in transit, so you don't have to ever use this as a Murphy bed if you don't want to. Now again, creeping up in size, you'll find a lot of those compact mega kitchen models, they're Murphy beds. Not everybody wants a Murphy bed. And as you start creeping up into things, before you get into a full-on super slide, you'll run into what I call the 22 Toterhome family of campers. Again, originally came about in the 22 MLE Grand Design Imagine, but if you look at this, it's basically a classic old school miniature motorhome layout, but instead of the front cab where you drive the thing, that's just where your bed is located. So instead of the bed being over the cab, the bed is just on the floor. But it's the smallest way I've seen you can have a bed, a sofa, a dinette, a good kitchen, and a dedicated bathroom. And what's awesome is these typically come in fairly half-ton towable, as well as usually they have some really nice travel access. Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd. Actually, welcome to Forest River, where the Heritage Glen and Hemisphere travel trailers are made right here, or Hemisphere Hemiglens, or Harry Glens, whatever you want to call them. This right here is, it's a little bit of a half twist on a very popular model out there. Like, if you look at this floor plan, you've probably seen versions of this from a lot of different builders out there. But this one kind of is a little bit of an interesting amalgamation of almost any of the builders of this layout that I've seen before. And it brings a kind of unique series of things to the table. So what's happening here is up front, we have a true queen walk-around bed, but they have it on their VersaTilt system. And it's a true queen, so if you're taller like me, it'll work. The underbelly of this is enclosed and forced air heated with tank heaters, and they went to a full, like, deep kitchen super slide. And by doing so, they were able to allow for some different things like bigger, deeper kitchen like counter space and storage. But compared to the first prototype this I've recorded, they pulled all like your kitchen cabinetry forward into that slide, so you're not going to get a forehead basher, you know, if you try to like jump into that thing too quickly. They also kind of revamped some things a little bit, so you have a little bit more hip, shoulder, elbow room around the toilet, and they gave this one a big pantry or bonus closet next to the dining, while also giving us a little bit of an outside, I'm not going to call it a camp kitchen, but a bigger outside fridge. I think last year they actually had the small fridge and like a little griddle or something like that. And this year what they said is, okay, let's give you a big fridge, and if you want a griddle, you can add one because there's a gas grill quick connect, and if not, then you're not paying for something you don't want. Then again, you've always got the fridge. If you don't want that, you can always remove it. I don't know. Whatever the case is, it's got cool things, maybe not always perfect, but I like what they're doing, and I think that this is better than it was last year, and I think it's not one you want to overlook. Now at this point, as we creep up in the size scale, we're pretty much maxing out at that just below 30-foot mark. So at this point, you'll find things are going to be equipped very similarly, just laid out very differently, and that's cool. That lets you choose, again, a little bit more of what you want. So moving on up here to that just under 30-foot tip-to-tail mark, we're going to hit what I call the rear baths. And if you go to any RV dealership in North America at this point and say, I'm shopping for something like a 26 rear bath, they're going to go, yep, okay, got it, because it's almost the default couples camping floor plan at this point, and it's a very efficient design. It's one of the smallest ways you can build a full super slide with a private bedroom and nice bathroom into something. And again, different manufacturers are going to have different ways of doing this. For instance, Freedom Express and Surveyor's versions of this floor plan are very different from a lot of other people's, but the fact is you find a lot of these just sub 30-foot private front bedroom, private rear bathroom models out there. And it's probably the single most heavily populated segment on this list.
Hey everybody, I got a 2-for-1 special for you today, because you can get this floor plan with or without bunks, if you can imagine it. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV down at Grand Design today. I'm going to do this video a little bit differently than normal because I had 2 RVs left. They had a very similar floor plan, but I only had time to capture one. So we're going to take a look at the 2600 and 2800 Imagines today. We're mostly going to look at the 2600 couples model, but here's the thing. The front 2/3, 3/4 of them are exactly the same. The only thing that changes is what happens behind the slide and behind the door. The 2600 just gives us a big rear bath, which is, I call it bazooka butt friendly. It is just very big and spacious back there. And with the vaulted ceiling, if you're a little taller like me, technically barreled ceiling, sorry, you can stand in that shower very comfortably if you're over 6 foot. The 2800 still allows you the taller shower space, but it is slightly longer, but it brings with it a double over double bunkhouse that also has a little outside, well, big griddle and refrigerator. Now, since the last time I've recorded these, some updates have happened here, a couple little cosmetic tweaks, but they have since gone to this like cool strip style lighting in the ceiling that it has a dimmer switch, which is very nice first of all, but it just gives it a very cool, fresh, modern look. They've maintained a very similar decor over the last couple of years. It is very warm, very neutral, but it's also something that, like, if you bring a couple of your own throw blankets or something, it really comes to life and jumps to life very fast. Since the last time I've recorded these, they have standardized an ABS outfit, analog braking. And you can tell that because it has the red hubs on the wheels. That's your indicator that this RV has anti-lock brakes. And I want to mention that because there were some 2024 Imagines that got out before that change took place. So that's an easy way for you to be able to identify that. They've maintained their factory roof solar, good extended season package, and a bunch of other good things. Now, there's a couple little key differences between them in terms of travel access and again, one being bunks and one not. We're mostly going to look at the 2600 today, but at key moments where they really differ, I'm going to jump over to the 2800 so you can decide which one you would go with. So basically, this is one video for 2 RVs. And let me know if you like A-B cuts like this. I don't do a lot of these. Let me know.
But the thing with those rear bathrooms is it puts the bathroom on the complete opposite side of the camper from your bed. And that's where the next category comes in. I call it the rear loungers. Some manufacturers put the sofa on the back wall and the dinette in the slide. Some manufacturers put the dinette on the back wall and the sofa in the slide. You know, they're both very popular arrangements. The commonality is right up by the front bedroom, you have the bathroom there. So the bathroom's actually typically between the kitchen living area and the bedroom. And some folks just prefer that arrangement.
Got a first look at a brand new floor plan here for you from Delta, where they took the same old thing and did it a little bit differently. And why did my voice jump 2 octaves? I don't know. So, vocal gymnastics aside, welcome everybody. Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV down here at Alliance today. I took a trip away from the office to get you my first look here at the new 252 RL, and I like what they did here. I like how it's not exactly the same as everything else, and I feel like the longer Delta's been around, the more that they're really kind of finding their stride here. So if you really look at this, it's kind of similar to like a 2500 Imagine. It's kind of similar to like a 25 RDS Cougar, if you're familiar with those, and some other things. But what I like here is they didn't just do the same old thing. So first of all, just in terms of the layout, instead of going with a giant rear mega dinette, which is cool, and maybe you like that, they went with a very functional, time-tested and proven 4-person 2-bench dinette with storage below it. It can fold down into a sleeper, it gets the job done, son. But by doing that, they were able to take the pantry out of the slide out and extend the sofa. And I think most people are probably going to spend more time on the sofa than the dinette, especially in a couples model. And that kind of makes sense to me. So now we have that big, like 3-seat triple recliner adult size sofa, where if you want to, you can just lay down and take a nap on that sucker. Now, combine that with the fact that, you know, they're ventless and carpetless in the floor and the slide, so it's very easy cleaning and pet friendly. And then combine that with the fact that we've got the extra tall ceilings. The whole thing just looks and feels very large and wide open. I also really like how Delta's basically one of the only factory standard travel trailers out there with dual air conditioner standard, and you can run both air conditioners on 30 amp service. That is an exceptionally uncommon find right there. So what's really cool about this is it gives you potentially half-ton towability around 30 feet, but you're getting big fifth wheel features in a really cozy couples camper right here. Alliteration aside, I like what I see. Let me know what you think, and in the meantime, what you don't realize is the rest of my team just showed up. I had no idea I was meeting them today.
But maybe you want more window coverage on the camp side of your RV. If you take those rear lounger concepts, you can basically leave the bedroom and the bathroom alone, and then just kind of twist around the kitchen and living room a little bit, and you end up with a rear kitchen model. And the really cool thing about that is it gives you more of an opportunity to have good window coverage over on the camp side of the RV, where a lot of people would prefer it. They are often a little bit better for countertop prep space as well, and you have your seating across from one another instead of kind of kitty corner angled. So depending on the type of social arrangement you're looking for, some folks really like these things.
I don't know. What do you think? Welcome everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with another brand new floor plan from Jayco. Well, not a brand new floor plan, a brand new floor plan to Jayco. This might look fairly familiar in terms of layout if you can imagine it. That's a hint. What defines this one maybe differently? Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I don't know. I want to help you find your second camper the first time, so let's start peeling this onion apart layer by layer. Like, speaking of layers, the sidewalls have Asdel layering in them. The sidewalls do not use wood paneling, so it's a composite sidewall structure. We have Goodyear Endurance radials on these. The underbelly's enclosed and forced air heated. A really respectable front pass-through compartment. And if my eyes aren't tricking me here, I do believe that's a true queen bed. Jay Feather, it seems like after all these years of everybody just saying, please just give us a true queen, they're finally doing it, and personally, I'm really excited to see it. But what's cool about this floor plan, it comes in under 30 feet pretty safely. It's something that a lot of half tons are going to handle very well, but it gives you like theater seating directly facing the entertainment center and campsite window coverage and a dinette and a private bedroom and a really good kitchen. It does a lot of things that a lot of other campers do out there, but it does it kind of like without a Murphy bed. Now, where they did theirs a little bit differently, and this might be a key make or break factor, is they did not do a walk-through middle bathroom. They did a walk-around bathroom. That means the RV is a little longer. That means that the bathroom itself is slightly smaller. But it also means that if somebody is just cutting loose on a Taco Tuesday, they don't cut the camper off, and you don't have to walk through a wall of, well, I mean, the Geneva Convention prevents us from using chemical weapons like that anymore, I think. I don't know.
But there are some folks who remember, way back when, RVs used to have a lot more in the way of rear bedrooms. Well, if you take those rear kitchen concepts and you flip them around the other direction, you can start to get yourself a lot of the other features of the RVs that we just described kind of all wrapped up into one. You can have a front kitchen with good prep space. You can get the full super slide like the rear bathrooms. And a lot of these will actually have a full private bedroom slide in the back. Not all of them, but quite a few. And the cool thing here is you're getting the maximum amount of cubic foot of space possible within that 30-foot series. Now, again, I've been listing examples of these floor plans over here beside me. It's not to say that these are the only examples out there. And there's also a couple that are close but not quite under 30 feet. Like a good example would be the Heritage Glen 270 FKS. Fantastic floor plan. Basically the same layout as this Rockwood behind me, but it's longer because it has a giant closet hanging off the back side of this thing. So there's still other opportunities out there, but these are intensely popular, and I think for good reason. The trick with these, they do tend to carry a little bit of extra hitch weight because you have a full super slide up front. So these can be potentially not half-ton towable, depending on the capacity of your truck and or where you're going to be towing it.
First look at a new floor plan here from Cougar today, and I'm telling you, they cracked the code and they did that one thing that no other manufacturer has done with this layout that I've ever seen. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV with the new 25 FKD Cougar. And I think that this is a heads and tails improvement upon their previous 29 FKD front kitchen. It's still a front kitchen super slide with a rear bedroom slide, a king bed slide at that. But what they did here is every manufacturer I've seen who builds a floor plan like this, whether it's Rockwood or Freedom Express or anybody, they almost always build it with like a radius shower just kind of shoved into the corner of a bathroom, and those radius showers don't provide awesome elbow room. Well, the problem is it's kind of hard to throw a rectangular shower in a floor plan like this, or at least it was until Cougar figured out how to do it by basically using a different version of a floor plan that they use successfully in a bunch of their other models. They've been able to bring us a rectangular shower with more elbow room and with their barreled ceiling good headroom, and actually surprising space around the toilet and just more space to get dressed and get around in general. Not to mention the fact that the things that they did with their pantry on this, the way the pantry and the entertainment section interact with like a slide open hidden pantry kind of area, you still have awesome storage, but they were able to move the refrigerator so that they could really maximize the kitchen space. And that still allows for room for a full super slide. Now you can choose a booth or a table and chairs, a hide-a-bed or a theater seat. You have all kinds of options there. You can build this with the standard 220 watt solar package. You can go up to 660 watts of factory solar and even a step in between. We've got a rear bedroom slide. Private rear bedroom is really nice because you're a little bit further away from the foot traffic. So if you're a light sleeper, people who wake up early and their dogs are barking and stuff, it's just less bothersome to you. There's so many good things about this one that I really like. It's 0 to 110 degree rated, allowances for full-time RVing, and a partridge in a pear tree. This is a killer kitten right behind us over here. I think it's one of the better versions of this floor plan that I've seen, and they certainly are not the first ones to come out with it. Like, you know, other builders have been making layouts like this for a number of years, but finally getting it down closer to that 30-foot kind of range with all these features, this is a rock star, baby.
Now, group number 9 is going to be our last group here, and it's not even really a group of floor plans specifically, because we've pretty much crushed that at this point. Rather, it's almost a recommendation for an entire brand pretty much as a whole. If you're trying to stay even further under 30 feet, you want to stay under 26 feet, tip to tail, tongue to bumper, and get something that has a lot of premium features, I have a really personal, strong attraction and recommendation for the Rockwood Mini Lite or Flagstaff Micro Lite. Two names for the exact same thing, family of RVs. Every Mini Lite and Micro Lite, they stop at 25 foot 11 inches tip to tail. Now the spare tire off the back might extend that a little bit, but 26 foot tip to tail camper. And they have often versions of any of the floor plan families that we've discussed today. You'll see a lot of their entries within this list here. Like you like the rear kitchens, they make a compact version of that. You like the front kitchen with the rear bed slide, they make a compact version of that. You like the sofa slide with the front bed, they make a private bed version of that. They do a lot of really amazing things. And if you have no idea where to begin and you're like, listen, I don't have time to get a PhD in campology, I want something really nice, what would you recommend? If I'm just going to totally shoot from the hip, I don't believe there's ever the best camper, but if we could somehow boil down and average and aggregate all the features and value and amenities and reliability factors, all those things out there, I personally feel Rockwood and Flagstaff are pound for pound about the best thing per dollar out there right now today. I personally just feel very good about them. I still can't believe after all these years, nobody else has been able to do this. Hello everybody, welcome back to Bish's RV, or welcome for the first time. My name is Josh the RV Nerd and I'll be your guide today. And behind us is a model that I've yet to see another manufacturer really nail the way Rockwood has done here, and that's the 2516S. This thing comes in just under 26 feet with a living room slide and a full 60 by 80 True Queen bed slide in the back with privacy, excellent, well, potentially excellent road mode access, very good ride and handling going down the road. It could fit for a lot of half tons out there, although with a front slide like this, you want to make sure that you watch your hitch weight for a lot of half tons. But generally speaking, you're going to find this thing very towable, very goable, as it were, but it gives you that destination space, storage, and privacy that usually little campers just don't provide. And it's kind of crazy because Rockwood and Flagstaff have really become like the kings of front kitchens, and this little one here I still think is like one of their best executed models possible, because it's giving us a lot of the features of those big models, like direct facing entertainment, really good storage, respectable prep space. But it does so, again, shorter and lighter than almost everybody else. But we still have all those Rockstaff doing Rockstaff things like the Goodyear Endurance radials with tire pressure monitoring, which Rockwood's been doing that way before it was cool. The underbelly has holding tank heating pad standard. Once again, they were one of the very first trendsetters doing that. The underbelly, of course, is also enclosed. They're one of the first to standardize factory solar and inversion. And this year, they actually bumped up on a couple of things. They improved their inverter to 1800 watts, so you can run a coffee maker, like at a travel stop, which with that front kitchen, very, very handy. Also, they have gone to all slam latches. For the last couple of years, you folks watching these videos have said, I wish they got rid of those stupid old butterfly twisty latches and went to slams. You have key lock slam latches all the way around this thing, which just makes it simpler and easier, and they just keep cranking it up a little bit. And I'm really curious to know what you think about what they did with the dining on this one this year. So again, we've looked at samples of any of these families. Down in the video description, there's a lot of information, a lot of links for you to parse through and discover. I kind of, this evolved very differently from how I intended it, but I think it actually may have ended up being a more useful thing, helping you find the style of camping that fits you, and then giving you some examples of that to kind of be able to cross-compare real quick from the comfort of your own home or toilet. Maybe the boss is paying you to watch YouTube on the toilet right now. I don't know. Whatever the case, if you like this, if you kind of like this format, if this is something I should explore a little bit more, leave me a note, let me know, click the like button, subscribe to the videos if you found this useful, and we'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.